All right, this is me taking what was one of the biggest risks of my life. And wow, this really takes me back. This is probably 2011 or 2012. This is London Real Studios. And this is the very first setup. This is probably within a week or so of me starting London Real. And you can see I got these webcams that I used to sit on tripods, and they would sit in front of the guest. And that's how I would record video. And I would split the screen in two. I had these mics that just set up with this sound card. You can see I'm playing around with different microphones. And this was me getting out of my comfort zone and starting my own podcast, putting my ideas out to the world for everyone to criticize, for everyone to make fun of me. This was a pivotal moment in my life, starting something from scratch, going from 0 to 1, as Peter Thiel said. And this was one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. This is how I built a community. This is how I built a movement. This is how I've built some of the greatest friendships in my life. This is how I've connected to some of the greatest humans I've ever met in my life, from Dan Pena to Dorian Yates to Ido Portal to John Joseph to all of these incredible, incredible people. All happened with me pulling up a microphone and not worrying what other people think about me. It was a risk. Now, in retrospect, it's a no-brainer. Of course I should have done that. But at the time, it scared the heck out of me. So I'm asking you, what scares you? And if it's not a life or death situation, try it. Because I could have finished my life always thinking I could have started that podcast just like Joe Rogan, and I didn't. I went back into a banking job, or I went to a tech startup, or whatever the hell nonsense I was going to do. But this was an error I didn't want to make of omission. And I got to go ahead and do it. And again, my whole life changed on the back of it. I wouldn't have children, I don't think, because of this. Obviously, I wouldn't have London Real. I wouldn't have connection. I would have never made movies. I would have never done a TED Talk. Who knows? I might not even be alive if I hadn't have taken this risk. So remember that. There's an old saying that playing it safe is the riskiest thing you can do. Remember that. Think about that today. How often in your life are you playing it safe? In all aspects of your life. Guess what? It's actually the riskiest thing you can do. Because at the end, when you go to die, you'll realize you wasted this precious gift of life where you could have been out there doing great things, giving back to people in this world by sharing your greatness. That's ultimately what risk is. You taking a risk to do something great that can give back to humanity and inspire other people. And that's just a beautiful thing. One of my guests recently, Dylan Werner, the amazing yogi, says, share your gift to the world. That's what you do when you take a risk. And he went from being a Marine firefighter and went to become a yogi. I mean, that's not exactly what Marine firefighters do, but he did it to share his gift to the world. My recent guest, Robert Kiyosaki, said, Brian, do what God wants you to do. What were you put on this earth to do? I don't care if people laugh at you. I don't care if you think it's risky. I don't care if there's no business there. There was no business here. But I knew I had to take a risk and do this and share my gift to the world. And that's why I started broadcasting. So I'm pushing you today to take that risk.
At London Real, we believe that individual transformation can change the world. Join us and start your journey today.